Hi everybody, this is Brandon from Galaxydoc Market. I am doing my weekend review as well as looking ahead for the week ahead and how to trade this stock market top that is forming. And we have a lot of stuff going on. Falling US dollar, XRP, Japan raising rates, Colombia stuff. All of that we will be talking about so that you know what they're doing, not what they're saying. Today is January 26th, Sunday, about 3:44 p.m. as I'm recording this video. We're going to be talking a lot about the effects of crypto as well as gold and silver, and also the technical picture of some of the stocks that we're looking at and where we are in this market top. And trust me, there is a market top. Here's the disclaimer. Pause it, read it. If you agree, please move forward. And of course, we are on X.com, Galaxydoc Market. Follow us there and like and subscribe if you're watching it on other platforms. All right, so I've been warning about black swans, and that still remains. There are so many things that could be going wrong at this time. I got to give out a shout out to President Trump. He is doing what he said he's going to do. And some may not like it, some may like it. Regardless, I believe all of those actions are setting up for addressing the U.S. debt, and it cannot be paid back in traditional manner, and that's the topic of this video. And it's just all the actions are pointing towards either a debt default by United States, and what better person to reorganize a country that has completely lost its way financially, morally, and structurally than President Trump in terms of bankrupting the country. All right, so here we go. So there's been a world awards from Colombian President Gustavo Petro. A couple days ago, he basically was not allowing the U.S. planes deporting Colombians who were here illegally back into Colombia. And there was a lot of loud, boisterous posturing. And within 48 hours after Trump slammed sanctions and basically made good on his promise that Colombia will feel it, he folded like a cheap suit. Okay, and this is what's to come. America is becoming very, very protectionist, America first policy, and he's not BSing around. And again, this is the steps that are necessary for a country to declare reorganization. I like to use the word bankruptcy, but it is a step in the right direction to create protectionism, protect assets, consolidate assets, and basically to eliminate useless debt and expenditures, and we'll go over that. So this is from Wall Street Mav, and breaking update about 52 minutes ago, President Trump slammed Colombia with sanctions after this guy, socialist president. Guys, socialism does not work. It sounds great on paper, not so great on execution. Now, more things that you need to focus on is the fact that Japan, this is from January 24th, raised its interest rate to the highest level in over 17 years. And every time they raise rates, there's going to be repercussions in the global stock market, especially in the United States, because that puts a ripple into the yen carry trade that's going on. So this 25 basis point bump to 0.5% is the highest since 2008. Notice that number right here, 2008 really is, all right. And there's nothing by accident. I think we're probably coming up into that level. We are near the market top, and any day now, it is something that's going to start cratering this market. And not a lot of things that the Fed has done. They try to support the 10-year yield a couple of weeks ago, and it did nothing. I mean, it's rising again. We'll go over that. Okay, so it says, should we be worried how we can make money? Let's be worried about not losing money. Okay, especially for those of you that are ultra bullish in this market. And, the only people that are really bullish are the retail and, wannabe hedge funds. All right, so the other thing is that I've been saying that the 10-year yield rise is effectively anything above 3.8% on the 10-year yield is effectively putting all U.S. banks and global banks that hold these assets on their balance sheet. And for U.S. banks, this is the only assets that could hold as instruments, and they are insolvent. And here we know that the regional bank has hit headaches from rising treasury yield. And that's what I've been saying for the last year and a half, that U.S. banks are insolvent. Okay. And especially I've been harping on the fact that the commercial real estate loans are underwater, right? That's an understatement. Okay. And they're just basically playing hide the salami just like they did in 2008 with the subprime mortgage loans and CDOs and all the collateralizations that took place. It's now happening at a bigger level, except it's at the commercial real estate loans. And also, it does not mean that the consumer or the retail real estate loans, just normal real estate loans are not underwater. The rates of foreclosure is going through the roof. And if you haven't seen what happened to Activision, remember, I've been talking about consumer demand destruction is real and that the consumers are tapped out. Credit card debt default and subprime auto loans default are sky high. Not to mention if and when the student loans start coming back online to be repaid, okay, most students are not going to be able to pay that back. So the U.S. is headed towards a hard, basic bankruptcy or reorganization, whichever word you want to use. But that's what Trump is setting us up for. Okay, so I said the 10-year yield is to ignite what is to come. There's no stopping the tsunami of bank failures. And then that bank failure started with Patriot National Bank Corp. But I think you really got to pay attention to this KRE, which is the regional bank index. And of course, my favorite, I think Comerica, I don't know why they keep upgrading the stock unless this is the one that's in trouble. Okay. But this is the one that is in trouble. And I think the chickens are coming home to roost shortly. Mark my words, CMA is more toxic than anything you've seen. And if you don't think this 86% decline in one day in names like CMA or Regions Bank or Bank of Oklahoma, okay, those guys are the top players, in my opinion, that are going to be having trouble. All right, so, and then President Trump, I know this is a little older, but it's important to mentioned about AI becoming a leader in AI with a $500 billion investment to become the world leader in a project called Stargate. Okay, can't make this up, folks. Stargate. Remember that TV show called Stargate? Well, that's exactly what's going on. Okay, right here. And of course, I don't know, out of nowhere, Larry Ellison really hasn't been really outspoken. The co-founder of Oracle, he's out there. I thought he was out there on a yacht and just enjoying life. He comes out and he's all of a sudden a expert in molecular genetics and wants to be involved and touting AI and how we can cure cancer with a vaccine. And after COVID-19, you can't blame everybody for being suspicious of mRNA vaccines, okay? Any type, okay? Unless and until there is concrete transparency, and also there has to be justice brought upon to the pharmaceutical industry and the medical industry that perpetrated this. All right. I will say, among my other degrees, my PhD is in molecular genetics, and this is not something that you want to go down or doing gain of function. I can go on, but that's not the scope of this thing. What I will tell you is that Larry Ellison's judgment cannot be trusted because this guy got duped by, I don't know if you remember, Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos when they promised that you could do all kinds of diagnostic testing with a drop of blood. And he fell for it. He was one of the early investors, and he was the one mentoring Elizabeth Holmes. He has more credibility than nothing. He has no credibility. He has enough, maybe a little more than a pea plant, okay? So we cannot let the tech oligarchs who come out of the woodwork, either they have a nefarious intent like Bill Gates does, or they basically want to profit from this. And if that's their old soul's content, well, we first have to look at our relationship with the pharmaceutical industry, such as Pfizer, and the people in the alphabet agencies like CDC, FDA, and all of those people basically scratching each other's backs. We cannot let this happen. Okay, there's no place for mRNA-based vaccines. Okay, so We're now going to shift to XRP. Guys, I've been telling you for years that XRP is the mark of the beast coin. It's inevitable. It is what is ordained. However, right now, it is what is going to get America and the rest of the world to kind of reset into a new monetary system and declare bankruptcy on the untenable debt from the fractional reserve banking and fiat money system post Bretton Woods, and to marginalize the Federal Reserve Bank and their nefarious connections to the WF and IMF and what they've done to the world. Okay, so I know Trump talks about the golden age, and I'm not sure what really talking about, but you can kind of read between the lines why he keeps using that. All right, and if you look at the adoption of all the banks, I know you can just go right here, go to XRP Drops. He posted it. You can see that. Look at what banks are doing, okay? They're not really, I think Bitcoin has a place only because it was one of the first. It's more like gold. It's going to have some place. But the real world asset tokenization, cross-border payments, and, cross-border liquidity provision in the crisis that is coming, it's XRP, folks. Banks are hopping on XRP. Why aren't you? They don't want you in it because they want you chasing meme coins, right? They want you chasing NVDA. They want you chasing anything other than anything that has tangible value. Okay. So utility here talked about a plausible way to pay off the national debt. And I think he's on the right track. And that's what I'm thinking. This $36 trillion in its current form cannot be paid off. Okay. We have so much US dollars printed. I don't think even the Fed knows how much has actually been printed until a crisis comes and pops that bubble. And I've always maintained that value, I believe, is in the upward of above quadrillion, which is quintillion, okay? Or very, very high quadrillions, okay? So the days of XRP value being low is going to end after the banks, after the central banks, after the governments have sufficiently loaded up their crypto reserves. There's no, secret why Trump is talking about crypto reserves. And remember, read between the lines. He's talking about the U.S.-based cryptos, which XRP is one, okay? And then I wanted to remind you, this was on that last week's, okay? See this beautiful face right here, all right? She's like 200 years old, like Yoda, all right? So we still haven't really addressed our debt ceiling issue, and it brings to light that this is more of a scare tactic than anything. The government is still functioning, okay? Think about what they're doing. They said, we're going to run out of money. Oh, no, all hell's going to break loose, and we're going to take extraordinary measures. But the debt limit is not achieved. No one's talking about it, and no one cares. We were being scared into complying, doing things we didn't want that the government was doing to us, and for whatever they wanted to do for their social agendas, sending money to Ukraine. Who knows, right? And then American Express announces global payment partnership with Ripple, integrating XRP into and CTF rewards for transaction. It's telling you in plain daylight what the companies are doing, right? Have you ever sent XRP? If you don't have one, just get some and then send it somewhere. It's within fraction of a second that you'll receive that. Okay, this is the new payment system, but it's so much more than that. But American Express has jumped the shark and joined Ripple, the mark of the beast coin. Then of course Denmark is in crisis mode after horrendous phone call. I wish I was a fly on that phone over there. Nobody in Greenland apparently wants to be part of Denmark's colonial whatever structure. But more importantly, America is hell-bent on getting it. If you haven't seen what happened with Colombia, I believe Trump is going to get what he wants. He's becoming more and more territorial, and basically he is reorganizing assets around the world for what? We're preparing to default on our debt, and everyone knows it, and that's what's going to happen. Even if I sound like a crazy guy, that's what I'm saying. I don't think Trump is kidding about Greenland, folks. All right? And then When you are preparing for bankruptcy or reorganization, or you're trying to get out of debt and get a new lease on life, you have to cut costs, extraneous costs. I have no idea where this guy goes, but he lives in mansions and everything else. And Trump officially suspends military aid to Ukraine. We have no idea what is actually going on in Ukraine, right? Okay, so that is kind of my take on what they're doing, not what they're telling you. Okay, in order for America to emerge out, we have to protect our borders, which I agree. Okay, I don't mind immigration. I'm an immigrant. Okay, I came here when I was in third grade from South Korea, if you guys haven't known. Okay, so I feel for immigration, and I think it's a great thing. But you got to come here legally. My parents saved all their money for years to sacrifice to come here, and they should do the same. Okay, we should not be also sending money where we have no accountability whatsoever into the world. Okay, and that includes Ukraine. Now, here's an interesting thing. So Bitcoin and OpenCoin, which was the original name of XRP, which Ripple created, was born on the same IP address. It's because, I don't know if you guys know, XRP was forked off of Bitcoin because the founders knew that Bitcoin was highly inefficient and that they had a better system of doing things. Okay, this is why I don't think Bitcoin's completely going away. But if you think that XRP is some fraud coin, you're in for a surprise. Just look at what's happening. Okay, so this IP address that's right here, the 64.202.167.192, is located right next to Phoenix, Arizona. Isn't that crazy? Okay, right in my home state. Okay, so this is not a coincidence because I think these people are very numerological and date-oriented. Okay, I think they're talking about Phoenix rising from ashes. And what ashes might that be? Could it be the destruction of the debt system that we're in? And I think there's some things to pay for coming forward. I think there's going to be some pain. I think that the market is going to crash. I do believe it. I think we're right near at the top. A situation is ripe. Remember, Japan just raised interest rates. Okay, there's going to be reverberation. And if you haven't noticed, especially when I think Fed did a yield curve control, YCC, in trying to prop up the 10-year yield a couple weeks ago, you know what happened with gold and silver? They started breaking out of their bases, and we're going to be talking about that in a little bit, okay? And this is a picture says more than 1,000 words, okay, 1,000, because there's a lot of people out there that thinks that XRP is going to hit 1,000 or higher eventually. But I know it's a little blurry. Just go here and you can see just about how much financial institutions just around the world or just any other institutions, okay? And then, of course, this guy's talking about Bitcoin partner, El Salvador, all right? Have you ever tried to send Bitcoin somewhere? It's the fees plus the time it takes to even transact any transaction is insane, okay? Here's the token landscape. I wanted to talk about that because at the center of it is XRP and Solana, AVAX, Mana, okay, Litecoin, XLM. These are all involved and they're all inclusive to Grayscale Trust, which is an ETF system. Okay, World Liberty Financial wants to bring up ETF. And then, of course, Trump has made it clear that the reserve crypto funds are going to come from a USA-made cryptocurrency. So it basically is part of this right here, right? This diagram right here. Ugh, I can't draw. Okay, Link is going to be pretty good, right? And I'm a big fan of that also. But you also look at Tezos, okay, which I believe is a great one. I just want to take some time to do this a little bit. Okay, so these are the American coins. Doesn't mean just because they're out of American side that it's not going to have any type of dominance or utility, but it will be. Okay, one thing that's left out of here is XDC. Okay, it's Singapore based, but I believe they're going to play a role in tokenizing your micro financial transactions and also gold and silver going forward. All right, here's a picture that I posted up last week. All right, retail's busy chasing XRP, not XRP, but NVDA, chasing S&P 500 while the insiders are dumping. And didn't get it at 50 cents when XRP was at 50 cents or 18 cents. It's now at $2.34. Now it's at what, $3.50 15, 13 cents as we talk about it. They're not buying that. They're buying Trump coin. They're buying Melania coin. They're buying, some fart coins. And so when XRP starts hitting 1,000, that's when the FOMO is going to come in. Okay, XRP is the global reserve bridge currency, folks. It is. It really is. Okay, stop chasing meme coins and start getting serious. It's still not late, and it's still going to be cheap at $10. Still going to be cheap at 50. It's probably going to be cheap at $500. All right, so let's get into some technical analysis really quick, and let's talk about where we are on the SPY. This is the monthly long-term trend back from 2008, and we are trying to break above this upper trend line, and it's okay because historically it's going to dance around there for a few months, but the crash of all crashes always comes. Okay, they're going to fake you out a little bit. This is why we got to be prepared. Okay, here's the 2020 pandemic crash. Okay, it didn't hit the top, but the signs were there, right? We're going to get all of these combined into it, and I believe we're going to come down even further. I haven't put a trend line here, but there is another longer term trend line that basically points to 160. Okay, just be mindful of that. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. This is going to be a long, drawn out process, but once the first leg comes down, it's going to be huge. Okay. All right, so let's look at TNX really quickly. I talked about this last week that they found support. This is a very important support level. It found support, and now we're bouncing off, trying to get above this 5 SMA. There is a positive RSI formation forming, as well as MACD histogram is basically showing a bullish divergence. Okay. Rising yield and falling U.S. dollar is a recipe for disaster, however. And I know that they've been, Trump wants lower yield rates. The only way that's going to happen, I think, is you have to flush out the excess in the system and begin to get protectionist, as well as, to bring down the fuel cost. I think that's a huge thing by pumping oil. And I agree with that. And I think that basically this is going to go higher. And then also, U.S. dollar, though, has been going the opposite direction. So here's the US dollar, and this is where it ended on Friday, right off of the support level. I do not believe that level holds. Maybe we get a little bounce and we start coming into these volatility boxes. I have always said that anything below 104.50 is a recipe for disaster, which basically comes ironically to this 20 SMA line, this red line right here. If that should happen, I think there's a great chance that we're going to start going, not only we might find some support right into this area and a bounce, but we're especially headed towards 100. I think it's a race to zero. Okay, the devaluation of currency is real. And for those of you that don't think that it's going to happen, watch what Trump is doing. He's setting us up for bankruptcy. And here's Bank of Japan policy rate raised 0.25% to 0.5, highest level it's been. It's going to wreak havoc on the stock market going forward. So let's talk about XRP, Bitcoin, and XDC, and a couple of other coins. I'm not going to spend too much time on it other than to show you some evidence on what is going on. So here's XRP on a daily basis. Okay, what this is a very tall, high tide flag. Okay, I'm not really doing this to scale, but you can see it's a flag formation. In this type of situation, yes, it can break lower, but the probability says that we're going higher, and we need to take out this 330.50 and a little bit higher at 340. Highest XRP's ever been was $3.85. Okay, so $3.85, staying above that. That is our goal short term. Okay. Guys, in a few months, maybe by the end of the year, this is going to look like, oh my gosh, why didn't I buy more here? That's what's going to happen, folks. Okay, so here's XRP. Let's look at XDC. And again, XDC's been, a little more volatile simply because it broke out of this long consolidation here. But realistically, this is a tall flag, right? And then all it's doing is basically forming a flag formation. I think the right here is where it's headed, and that area in this purple line is denoted by 0.10248. Anything below there, I would buy it with a hand basket, all the way down to 0.09. Okay, but I am beginning to accumulate more at these levels for XDC at the moment. Okay. Not financial advice, but I'm just telling you. H bar is the other one. I don't talk about it much. However, I think it's going to play a critical role. I don't think it's going to be as robust as XRP or XDC when it goes, but it is. It's a nice bull flag formation. They're all bull flags, folks. All right. However, for those of you that got suckered into Trump coin, you still think that it's going to come up. Okay, it might have found some base bottom here, right at these levels. Probably going to chop around this way, but I think it's going to break lower. Okay, for now, focus on the big winners, right? The other one that I like is Tezos. Again, it's pulled back. For those of you that missed the breakout, it's not going to go up in a straight line. These are opportunities to get in. Okay, Teza is a smart contracts provider. I think it's going to play a humongous role, and it's cheap right now still, even though it's gone up. Let's look at Bitcoin, folks. There's nothing wrong with Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin, XRP, Tezos, HBAR, all XDC can all get along. And in fact, I think Bitcoin is basically poised. Here's a cup formation, but it is. It really is sorry, I got the wrong one. But really, it's also a flag formation, right? It's just going higher. I think it's going to break higher along with everything else. Now, if the stock market starts to crash, that will be an opportunity for you to be able to pick these up on cheaper, relatively cheaper basis when everyone's panicking and throwing the baby out with the bathwater. That's when you need to get them, okay? And I think the stock market crash, we're in that cycle turn date from January 17th to February 7th is a date that I would be looking towards, and might not be a bad idea to be positioning. Okay, let's look at the market technical picture. Why I think say the things that I do, because a lot of you guys think, oh, I've heard that before, and blah, blah, blah. Why do you keep saying that? Because we are at the market top. At the top, it's very noisy. Everyone's excited. Everyone's going long, okay? Retail, your mom, dad, uncle, grandma, who's in nursing home, is also in the stock market. That's the top, folks. Let's talk about, we already talked about this US dollar, right? We already talked about the TNX on the my previous slides, okay? But let's go and talk about gold and silver, okay? And let's look at silver first, okay? Guys, silver is the last to break out of the channel. What I can say is in this green line level, we're going to chop around here and then start breaking out, okay? Once silver breaks out, because of the naked shorts that's been happening, when all hell breaks loose, and just watch that Japan raising their rates, it's going to be important for you to know, okay? Silver is going to explode, and it's going to melt faces when it does, and I think that time is coming, okay? Just got to be patient. I think we basically have found the bottom, okay, and now we're just finding support, and we just need to break out of this volatility box and then start hitting out of this 35 level, okay? But between here, physical metals are the best, but if you're playing around with the futures, I think a lot of payoff can be made. You just got to buy more time, okay? If you want to find out more about what our targets are, then you're going to have to email me and find out, okay? All right, and then gold, obviously. Gold is looking much more promising, right? Double bottomed here, has a nice little cup formation that we formed, right? And we broke out at the resistance level. Now we just need to break out at this level, and then it's going higher. We already broke out right here on the RSI. We are basically, that downtrend is broken, and now it's RSI is positively divergent, okay, at this moment. Let's talk about NVIDIA, because I think NVIDIA's days are marked. I know Nancy Pelosi bought a bunch of call options again. I mean, what are they going to do about her insider trading? I mean, it's clear she's not the, God's gift to trading, and yet she has all of these things. I just wanted to throw it out there, okay? But just as a warning, I believe we're basically running into this area. And last week we broke below there. We went this week. We've ended right at that support level, but this is coming down, folks. Okay, AI is not what it's cracked up to be. We got a little boost from that Stargate news, but if you read through Taiwan Semiconductors and Texas Instruments, Texas Instruments earnings report, okay. I think NVIDIA offers us a great time here to accumulate. It's just either if you short outright, you gotta, or you use puts, but you gotta buy more time with this situation. We've been doing fairly decent with this. SMCI, I think it's a zero. Okay, and it's a gift that keeps on giving. Okay, it's having a hard time getting over this 5 SMA, and we're just hopping around right into this area. Okay, it's a bear flag, right? Or it could be a bull flag. Some of you pointed out. I like to see this as a bear flag. I think we're going down. Okay, I think the ultimate target, if we can clear this 25 level, we're gonna hit $10 within the next month or so. Okay. So that's what we've got. And then, of course, my favorite, Comerica. Guys, this is the 900-pound gorilla. Negatively divergent. I'm going to tell you, we topped out and we couldn't break out. This is kind of a reversal formation. It failed at ADMA, the green line right here. I think we're going to go down all the way down to 56, much further. All right. 35 within a couple months. Soon. Maybe it happens overnight. You saw what Patriot National Bank did. All right. Apple. Apple has topped. We talked about this a while back. We've been short on this name. We gapped down. We're now basically chugging around. We're coming lower. I think Apple is absolutely headed towards sub 200 post earnings. Okay, there's not a lot of redeeming factors about Apple. And then MicroStrategy. Okay. I don't think Michael Saylor thought about tax implications of him holding his Bitcoin. Regardless, this is not a correlated trade. While Bitcoin's going higher, we've topped here. This is the same guy that rang the bell at the top during 1999. Basically had to restate all his earnings. He may have to do that again. Guys, these people are sick. They do the same things over and over again, hoping that you forgot. I haven't forgotten because I was trading during that time. And it's the same crap, okay? This is a short, folks, okay? So that's kind of what I have for you now, okay? Just 1 second. I do want to point out, really, here's Electronic Arts. We've been warning about this company for a while. We double topped here. And then, of course, this is where it is. You make crap. Okay, and when the consumers are tapped out, mommy and daddy can't use their credit cards to buy you Madden anymore. That looks the same as it did last year. Okay, with Saquon Barkley doing backward jumps. Okay, that's not enough to save EA or FIFA. Nobody, when we're going through hyperinflationary debt collapse. Okay, that's what's happening, and people can't afford to buy food at the moment. I wanted to go over just one more thing. Okay, just come right over here. All right. I know I didn't spend a lot of time on VIX, but I think VIX, every time it comes to this area, this is where you need to buy it. Okay, buy the VIX calls, buy enough time. Okay. And the one that I wanted to really focus on is the fact that after hitting 45.17, it's gone nothing but up. Okay. So TNX is going higher, dollar is coming down. That's a recipe for disaster, folks. All right. One more thing is that gold looks absolutely fantastic, folks. Silver just needs to make up its mind, okay? That dotted line is really where the overhead resistance is, but these are where I believe the institutions are accumulating, okay? That's where the support is, okay? Silver's frustrating, but by God, when it breaks out, I think it's going to melt some faces, okay? If you want to know my targets, you need to email me and find out, okay? Otherwise, you do your own work. All right, so Bitcoin is beta test coin, okay? XRP and Bitcoin are the same things. They were forked off the same chain. XRP was designed with real-world applications, and nothing is by accident. XDC's real-world tokenization of assets. It's under pressure right now. There's your entry, folks. If you think you missed it from 2 or 3 cents, and then you missed it again after it broke out at 10, now's your chance. Okay, so beware of inauguration and February post-inauguration, and I'm still keeping that because I think that the U.S. dollar dropping and Japan raising their rates, it's really going to basically support gold and silver thesis. And watch the U.S. dollar. If it breaks below 104.50, that's a sign that things are about to unravel in the stock market. Japan raised rates. It's bad for the U.S. dollar. It's bad for the U.S. stocks, global stocks for that matter. I'm not going to talk about gold and silver naked shorts. That's a reality. Everybody knows it. They still allow it to happen, but how long will it happen? If the debt market starts imploding, they're not going to do that anymore, are they? That's where gold and silver. Gold's already breaking out again. Okay, silver being a little bit of booger, but I think it's just building energy to move higher. Meme coin is a distraction away from XRP, folks. or buying H bar, anything, XDC, Tezos. I mean, we talked about a few of those. Okay. While retail are chasing Trump and other meme coins, big boys are loading up on XRP, XDC, Tezos, whatever, H bar. We're long gold, silver, VIX, XRP, XDC. Okay, I didn't put XTZ in there, but I just think XRP and XDC is the one. Short watch is Carvana, Apple, MicroStrategy, Netflix. I know they had great earnings, but consumers that tapped out, first thing they're going to cut is the streaming. Okay, SMCI, NVDA, CMA, watch the KRE. Okay, all right, so that's it. Subscribe, like us. If you're on YouTube, like us. If you're on X, hey, follow me. All right, and thank you, and let's get some alpha. If you want to email me, coachbrandon@protonmail.com. Let's go.